Hi, hey, hello, it is Zero Narration or Zuka Zero Gaming or whatever you want to call me, and I thought we could do a small callback on Type Soul as that was one of the last video topics I covered in the last 2 months. And I am sorry for taking such a huge break, but yeah, Type Soul is a moderately sized Bleach game, and I'm saying moderately sized because this game used to be big. Type Soul currently only has around 2,000 to 3,000 players at exactly 2,313, and it has a total view count of 763 million. I wanted to go over why I think Type Soul is dying and why it is slowly fading away. First, I think that the new game modes were a little lackluster and kind of unfun. Soul Wars was definitely one of them, where or I believe it's Soul Wars. I haven't played the game in 2 months, but it's the I believe it's the game mode where you are playing as the developers' characters instead of your own. And that's a good concept in theory, but the keybinds, in my opinion, for how they had it set up was so weird that it was just unenjoyable. Not to mention that the game passes they sold are all around 400 Robux each, and certain ones that aren't related to it, like the only other game pass that's on the page and not in the game, is 2 times EXP, and the only way you can use this is it's only for trainee to elite grade progression. You cannot use it for anything else. So once you beat regular progression, there's no point to do it. And it's a good concept, but I think it's a waste of money. And that's just the minor stuff. I think the main reason why Type Soul is dying, and this might be controversial because I've never enjoyed these, but I think it was the true modes. Fullbringers, those guys, they can stay around. They were pretty cool, and they were a good idea. I think their progression was lackluster and very slow, but they also added really cool characters. I believe they added Kara from Undertale, but the true modes and Hell were all kind of boring. Hell, you sat around and just thought about what you were doing with your life for 12 hours to 24 hours, trying to think about why you're sitting there waiting for a mode that is literally unfair unless somebody else pops in their true mode or prevents yours by popping. And also, true modes just broke the balance of the game. Whereas you could beat somebody in their Bankai if you weren't using Bankai, if you were skilled enough. If you could use something ranged and you could fight back, like for water Bankai, for example, you would be fine. But now with true modes, they just make it unfair and it's very difficult to deal with. I don't think that's the necessary problem. That's pretty much the point of true modes. That's why they came out. The problem I had with it is the fact that they just broke the map for the longest time, which Type Soul did fix. I'll give them that. But it's also like just kind of discouraging, I would say. You're spending all this time on Type Soul and you are punished for not spending 24 hours in hell. And you can't leave an auto clicker on or anything like that because of raids that happen. So you pretty much have to just stay up that entire time and be doing anything but Type Soul. You are sitting on your phone watching Instagram or something of the sort, trying to pay attention to something other than Type Soul. And then you see a raid and then you're like, oh, I gotta click on that. And it just sounds like it's a boring waste of time. And I personally never did the true mode. I said my Bankai was true enough and I dealt with everything else of the sort. But I really think it's boring. Just having true modes in general is boring. And other than that, I think that the content updates, they're decent. Like the last update was 6 days ago, but they're not strong enough and they're not good enough to bring them back. The first couple of weeks, maybe even the first couple of months, Type Soul came back after they released Hell. They had around 10,000, maybe 15,000 players active at most times. I think I saw 20,000 at one point. But them dropping down to 2K as their average shows that people only cared because of the new stuff. They didn't really care about the gameplay loop. You have to find your niche, and having Hell pretty much be Bandit Beater Simulator and sit around for 24 hours simulator is kind of boring. And for Fullbringers, cool race idea. Well, honestly, they're really cool. But I would have really liked seeing, I don't know, being a regular human instead of having to do bulletin boards. Like, for example, this is me spitballing, completely unrelated. But if you were a Fullbringer and you could go around walking a curve without seeing anything, Hollow, Soul Reaper, and if somebody was around you, it would slowly rise up your bar, depending on what their race was. And you could see Quincy's, but if you were like right beside a Soul Reaper and you didn't notice it, a Soul Reaper bar would go up where you would be exposed to it, and you would have more Soul Reaper tone powers, similar to how Chad, before it was retconned, was in Hueco Mundo, and his powers were like this hollow type of power. Other than that, I really don't have much to talk about. I do think that this game has a lot of potential still, but it's really disappointing to see it dying. And I mean, it would be cool if they updated similar to how Peroxide recently did, where like they released a Halloween update, or even for Halloween they gave, like, for somebody who hates true modes, like myself, I think having Reaper Bankai, the one that they released last Halloween, if you could give it true Bankai, that would be cool, a little callback. Or maybe even give like a whole new boss fight. Don't give another Shikai that you're not going to put effort into. But I mean, that's just my opinion. If you have anything you'd like to say or comment, I would appreciate you leaving it down in the comment section. But yeah, I've been Zuka0 or Zero Narration, and I really do hope you've enjoyed the video. Later.